Right, I believe we are live. Good evening, everybody. So, who we got in the chat to start with? Say hello to everybody, as always. We've had a bit of a conversation being going on here off. Oh, let me just turn this volume down, guys. Hang on, I always do this. That's it. Okay, so a bit of a conversation going on between Nick Franco and No Name before the stream went up. Good stuff. Okay, so hi to, is it Sayfon K? Probably pronounced that wrong as always. Nick Franco, hi to you. I believe you're in the States. What else we got here? No Name, of course. Raj Popat, is it? Hi. And Davy Boy, hi from Australia. I think it's morning where you are, isn't it? Shin Rana, Munya Kandudu, I think it is. And you're up in Gloucestershire. Robert Mugaba. Damien Simmons, as always, hi. I can't actually read that out, Damien. It's a little bit, risque, as they say, but it's up there for people to read. Hi to Carl, Ronald Justin. That's about it for now, I think. Mick Tomsay, is it? Paul Frankum, Jim A, 181A, Mick Tomsay. Yeah, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? John L, Paul Brown, Chaya Pum Falang, James Gill, Sino Bambino, IQ Neg, is it? David Walters. Mick. Some of the names are really hard to pronounce for me, but hi to all you guys. Thanks for joining me. Hi to Scott, who's just come into the screen. So lots to talk about tonight. I've done, as always, quite a bit of research, lots of things to talk about. I just want to tell you a funny story. Right, anybody around my age, you must have had in the past or have currently these two albums in your collection. I don't know if you can make them out what it is. Yeah, it's the Beatles, both albums. They're both double albums. Bit of a funny story. I watched a really nice movie in the week. It's on one of these free. It's quite new, so I don't know if you can watch it everywhere. I don't think it's on Netflix, but the title of the movie is called Yesterday. Let me just get rid of this ticker because it's annoying me. Hang on, that's the thing that goes across the bottom. Right, yeah. So the movie's called Yesterday, and what it's about this. He's Asian, but he's a guitarist, not a very good one at that. He's one of these musicians that plays in pubs. When he starts strumming, people go to the bar or go to the toilet or they leave. But what the story is about is all the lights go off in the world for about a minute or so. He has an accident on his scooter, and he wakes up, and his friends buy him a guitar, and he's outside a pub, and they say, "Go on, play us a song," and he plays one of the Beatles numbers. And they're amazed by it. And the bottom line to the story is really nobody in the world has ever heard of the Beatles. They never existed. He's the only guy who's ever heard of the Beatles. So he starts pumping out all these songs done by the Beatles, and he becomes a megastar. Ed Sheeran's in the film as well. He's quite a good actor, actually, Ed Sheeran. And there's a couple of Asian actors. I don't know the names, but I really highly recommend it. So with that in mind, it reminded me, because there's a few Beatles tracks being played in the background, nothing to do with Thailand, just get this story out quick. So I was listening to some of the Beatles numbers that they played in the film, and I thought, yeah, I remember that. And I thought, I must get them albums. I don't listen to music too much, but I thought, if I get the DVD or CD, rather, I can listen to it in the car. So I went on to Amazon, and I looked at both these albums, and they were £25 for the pair. And I thought, I'm not paying that. Went on to eBay, and if you've just joined the stream, I'm talking about these two albums here by the Beatles, double albums. 67 to 1970, 96 to 66. So I went on to eBay. I got both the albums, believe it or not, for about £7. I thought, great, I'll play these in the car. Went out in the car, and there's no CD player in my car. I couldn't believe it. I bought a car last year, not brand new. It's about 4 years old. It's a Skoda, and they don't have CDs anymore, do they? So what I think I'm going to have to do is transfer the CDs into a folder on my PC, onto a memory stick, and pop that into the car. So I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought it was quite a funny story. Right, who else is with us tonight? Academic Traveller, hi to you. Seamus Doherty, hi Peter. Hope you had a good St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that piece I did last week, Seamus. I was really surprised that they lit up a few landmarks in Bangkok, Emerald Green, to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. One of the really big Wat temples, and one or two of the hotels. You must have seen that story. It's out there. Hi to Torchy, good evening. Derek MC, good evening. LTR Life in Thailand, right. Glad to have you guys with me tonight. I've got the Kronenberg ready for 10 o'clock, but the thing is, I had it in the freezer. I'm so paranoid about it now. If you remember 2 weeks ago, I was mentioning It's cold, but I was mentioning I left it in too long and it came out like a big swelled up. I couldn't drink it. Somebody was saying in the stream earlier they bought some Chang. Let me just see if I can find that. I can't remember. It was somebody in America. I can't find it now. Send the message again, and I'll give you a shout out. But he was saying he bought a couple of Chang beer. He said, but they just didn't taste the same. They tasted a bit off. I don't know. I've never had a Chang in the UK. Hi, Black Bolt. Thanks for joining us. PQ. Hey, Pete. Paul Quigley from Dublin here. Hi. Yeah, Damien. Thanks, Academic Traveller. We all know the truth. Torchy, the company car I'm driving also doesn't have a CD player. Makes me feel old. Yeah, it's really strange because I didn't give it a second thought, you know. But I suppose because they're all, at the end of the day, they're MP3 music file. I presume they're MP3 music files. So I suppose you know what? My PC doesn't even have a DVD player. That's how desperate it is. But being a dinosaur, I just happen to, luckily, have this. And what this is, it's a portable DVD player, and you can plug it into a laptop, whatever you want, with USB. So I can plug this into my USB port on my computer, put the music in here, transfer it onto the computer, then hopefully stick it onto one of these memory discs. I've got loads of them here, and then hopefully I can just plug that into the car. But yeah, technology's changing, isn't it? It's always progressing. A few more joining us now. Popcorn, hi, how are you? Thanks for that. Matthew, I preferred the old Chang. Yeah, Matthew Allcrom, he says he prefers the old Chang, and if you don't know what he means by that, the old Chang was like fire water. It was about 8.5%, I believe, and according to Damien, it's now 5%, so it's like a regular beer. I don't like to drink anything less than 5% alcohol. It's not that I'm a hardcore alcoholic, but it's just I think if you're going to have a drink, Don't mess about. I think I mentioned I went to a friend's barbecue once, and I don't drink in the day, but his wife was pushing these glasses of beer on me, and I thought, oh, why not? Sleep it off. And nothing was happening to me. And I found out later that the beer was 2%, Tesco beer or something like that. Anyway, Loose Feet Adventurer, hi. Paul Brown, new bar complex Soy 94. Yeah, we spoke about that last week, Paul. That's just after the railway lines. That should be a lot of fun. If you watch my video about the initial hotel, which is at the end of the Soy, you can stay there for about 600 baht a night. Brilliant hotel, and you can walk down to these bars. Damien Simmons, my first car had an 8-track. I remember the 8-tracks. I'm not that old. My first car, it just had a radio. It didn't have any, you couldn't put in anything else. It was just a radio. Big clunky buttons. When you change station, big white. It literally gave a clunk as you press the button. Is it Guideline 7? Best wishes from Germany. Hi. Right. Okay. So as usual, we've got 125 in the stream now. So now I've got everybody in. Let's give you the rates. This is something I like to do. Just the current Thai baht. You can look it up yourself, but I just print them off just out of interest. I took these at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Okay, so the pound at the moment, you'll get 42 baht and 79 satang. The US dollar, you'll get 30 baht and 85 satang. The Canadian dollar, you'll get 24 and 81 satang. The Australian dollar, you'll get 23.74, and the euro, you'll get 36.86. So I've got a few stories for you tonight. I've got some nice not stories as in the stories I make on a Saturday, but just what I like to do before I come on the stream is I like to go through all the news channels. You can do it yourself, but I like to go through all the news channels and just pick out, quirky stories, interesting stories, and when there's a low in the comments, as it were, I can read them out. I've got some nice bits and pieces here. Just to let you know, like I said last week, I don't know why YouTube don't like us talking about the big C. So I've made some code words. So the code words for well, I'll tell you as we go along. It's Cyrus, fractionated, Mona 19, slamdemic, insection, or a slab. So you know what I'm talking about, because that will be important later on. Okay, all right. Who else has joined us now? Hi to Tony H. Any news about ASQ ended? Do you know what? A bit depressed in the week. I went on to one of the news channels and it said Thailand is opening up 1st of April or something like that. And then when I read the small print, it was all about the flipping, having to show certificates and go into quarantine and all this. Last week I said there was a lot of news at the end, good, bright. There was light at the end of the tunnel. Things were looking better, but I don't want to depress you on this Saturday night. But let me just read this one piece out, which really depressed me a little bit when I read it. I'll find the flipping thing now. Okay, I'll have to read it when I get to it. Oh no, here it is. Okay, so this is a bit depressing. So we're also talking about light at the end of the tunnel when we can get back to Thailand. I'll just read this out. It's quite short, but it will give you a flavour of what's going on at the moment. So, and remember the coded words, guys, all right? Because I can't say the real words. Right, so Centre for Mona 19 announcements, bubbles and seal measures after, get this, October the 1st with quarantine lifted. The latest news is bound to disappoint potential tourists thinking of visiting Thailand after October the 1st, as Friday's announcement has created more confusion than clarity as to what will happen after that date. The government has also announced shorter quarantine periods from the 1st of April, so that's only next month, obviously, with 10 days for have I made a word for it? I'll have to say it, unvaccinated visitors, and 7 days for those. So if you've got a certificate, you only have to quarantine for 7 days. Yippee. An announcement by the Centre for Mona 19 Situation Administration on Friday said that Thailand is to reopen to tourists from October the 1st next without quarantine has been tempered somewhat after it was revealed by the body that the bubble and seal measures will be deployed at tourist destinations and transport facilities after that date. However, Dr. can't pronounce his name, of the CCSA explained that the kingdom's two authorities would be deploying close observation devices thought to mean tracking apps and what he termed bubble and seal measures, which will be enforced at airports, tourist destinations and communities nearby. Now that's October, you know, and they're talking about all these bubbles and quarantine and tracking devices. I mean, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go when it's like that. I'm not that desperate. If I have to wait another year, I'll wait. I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to go over there while it's, you know, while it's all like this. But anyway, let's forget that. It's very depressing. Who else has joined us? Matthew Cartwright. Hi, Matthew. How are you? Right. I always have a problem pronouncing your name. I think you said call you Ben if it's Poloska. That's your last name. Got the first jab a week ago. In 2 more weeks, I'll be good to go. Oh, okay, good. Yeah. You'll have to, if you do manage to get there, you'll have to maybe join in the stream or so. I'm trying to work out how to bring people in on this stream, because this software I'm using, people have asked me about this. It's really good. It's the most simple one that I've found. I'm 61. I'm not a techie, and I looked at a lot OBS Studio. There's lots of different software, because if you want to do a live stream with YouTube, you can actually just go in and click live stream. You don't have to do anything else. You don't need any software, and you will live stream as long as you've got a mic and a camera. You will live stream, so you don't need any software. But the problem with that is you can't bring anybody else into the screen. You can't have green screens like this picture in the back. You can't have logos. All you'll see, if you do it just through YouTube, you'll just see a background of whatever's behind the person. That's it. So I was looking for some simple software that somebody my age can use that will do the job. I don't need all the bells and whistles, although this StreamYard I'm using now, it has got a lot of features. It's really good. But what I like about it is it's simple, really simple for a guy like me. You're able to bring in multiple people into this stream. I haven't learned how to do that yet, you know, being a bit thick as I am. But it's very, very good. As you can see now, what you're looking at now, we've got a nice background of Patio there. I've got the logo there, and it's so simple to set up. It's unbelievable. So if you're thinking of doing a live stream, or you're doing a live stream and you're not sure about, you've got the YouTube, just nothing background, go and have a look. You don't even have to download any software. That's the great thing about it. It's all on their website. You just go in, and it's free to start with, but you don't get a lot of the features if you use the free version. Okay, so that's StreamYard. I'll give them a mention again every week, but maybe not so in depth. Okay, right. What we're going to talk about next? Let's see who else has joined us in the stream. We've got 147 at the moment. Michael Mead in a hotel. Which hotel are you in, Michael? And whereabouts in Thailand are you right now? Marco Polo. UK for sure is high-risk country, so still 14 days in October. Yeah, that's a good point. It's all very well say you get to Thailand, you only have to quarantine for 7 days, but when you come back now this end, Mind you, saying that, I read today that half of the adult population in the UK has now had the first jab, and I can't remember how many's had 2 of the jabs, but it's half the adult population. We're doing really, really well. And today, or was it yesterday, they gave out 700,000 in a day? So something like it. Unbelievable how good it's going. I mean, we're the envy of Europe at the moment. We're really getting on top of it with these, the vaccinations, as it were. Just try and see what you guys said. Franco had my, yeah, we read that one. Michael Mead. Yeah, Darren Drew, true. You want a holiday to be a holiday that sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, I mean, the whole thing about going to Thailand, you go for a good time, you work hard for your money, you want to enjoy yourself. And as I keep saying, you know, once you get off, all I want to do is when I get off that plane dog tired, I want to jump in a taxi, straight down to Sukhumvit, in for a quick shower and out for a few beers. I don't want to go through all the, all this quarantine, and I just don't want to do it. Raggy Tour, good evening from Iceland. Oh, wow. What time is it in Iceland? Jeff Ives, as no one from the UK will be able to travel without having the vaccine, the UK will not be a high-risk country. Yeah, and they cancelled my first jab yesterday. Yeah, I mean, there's some controversy at the moment because they're saying that they're running short of, some clinics are running short of it. I don't know what's going on, but they're doing quite well so far. Black Bolt, I hope to God it's not another year. Yeah, you and me both. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. When I was sitting in my hotel room in Hua Hin, not the October just gone, the October before that, thinking, shall I start a YouTube channel? Yes, I will. And then I came back and all this happened. I thought, 3 months, tell a few stories and everything. And how long is it now? I mean, we've just gone through the 2nd October. So what, November, December, January, February, March, April. I can't believe it. It's nearly 18 months. I mean, the longest I've been away from Thailand is probably 4 months in the last few years. But coping. No withdrawal symptoms just yet. Okay. Right. Let me read another story out for you. This is a horrible one. I promise you guys, they're not all depressing. Did you like the stories today? Oh, good news. If you're into the stories, do you remember last week I said there probably won't be any more stories because I've run out of them. And unless I've got quite a few sent to me now. I read the 3 out today. And the first one, if you watch those stories, the one about the hospital visit from Pat where he got bitten by all the mosquitoes. He's sent in 3 stories now, Pat. And he's quite good at making a nothing story sound really interesting. Not a nothing story, but something that's not overly exciting. He's got a way of writing the story that's quite funny and interesting. Last week he did the story about the what do you call it? I can't remember the name of it now. The fortune teller, and then the one about Katie before. But I like the one in the fortune teller last week where he says, "Isn't it funny how you never see a headline? Fortune teller wins the lottery." Right, you want this right here? Let me read this to you. Right, okay. So this is just picked up from several news channels today. I've tried to clean it up so it's not too graphic. But the headline on this reads: Italian man arrested at Bangkok pizzeria for allegedly sexually abusing a young girl. And then it goes on to say an Italian national named as only Aldo was arrested at a pizzeria in Bangkok yesterday, March 16th, what are we today, 24 days ago, after allegedly conducting, I don't want to say the word, but you know what he's done. The arrest follows the complaint of the 3-year-old girl's parents, claiming that the man had taken their little daughter to a place and molested her on February the 9th of this year. Well, this isn't all the papers. I mean, it's everywhere. So that whether I read it or whether you read it yourself, it doesn't matter. According to the parents' statement to the police, Aldo repeatedly approached the girl at about 8 p.m. on February the 9th and started to befriend and play with the young victim outside. He reportedly offered her some food and told her to come home with him before abusing the victim. I mean, that's terrible, isn't it? What would you do if you were in the same room with him? I have to tell some nice stories because that's right. Hunter Baden's crack pipe. Where do you get these names from? Hello. Right, Chiang Falang. It won't be another year. It will be longer. Thanks for cheering me up. Hermit Turtle Goat. I honestly believe it will be 2022. We get back to Thailand. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, let me know. I think I said last week, and I'm still kind of hopeful for October. But from what I've read today, it's not going to be totally open. When do you think the day will come where there's no screening, there's no quarantine, there's nothing? You just get off the plane and get in your taxi and away you go. How long do you think that's going to take? Honestly. Damien Simmons, it's been 16 months, Peter, for me since I've seen my Thai partner and family. That's hardcore. Yeah, I remember you mentioned this before, Damien, but I mean, are you able to go out there for some length of period, like 3 months, 6 months, a year, or longer? Because I don't know. I think, I'm always banging on about I wouldn't go out and do the quarantine. I'll wait. But I think if I had I know you got a little boy, a little girl out there, maybe both. But I know you've got your Thai partner. But I think if that was me, if I'd come over here for a visit and I had a Thai family there, I would definitely go back and do the quarantine, because it's only, I say it's only 14 days. It's easy to say it like that. But you're not in a prison cell, are you? In a way you are, but you're in a hotel. You're in a nice hotel. The food's half decent. They let you out for an hour or two a day. 14 days, you've got cable TV. I don't know. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I don't think, if I had a partner over there, I don't think I'd sort of wait this long. Patrick Honer, July 1st, 2021. Hope it's open. I think you'd need to keep your fingers and toes crossed for that date. That's a bit soon, I think. Digital Crab, October, November. I've lost you. Hermit Total 22. High Five 2024. I might not even live that long. I'm 61 next month. Right, Matthew Chrome. The longer it takes, the better money we will have. Yeah, I read a piece in the somewhere. I'm always reading lots of different things, not only about Thailand, but they reckon that when all this is finished, so much money is going to be spent in the economy because everybody is sitting on a pile of cash because they haven't been able to spend it. I mean, who are these people? I'm certainly not sitting on a pile of cash, that's for sure. I've got bills to pay. Chang Falang. Dream on, Patrick. Yeah, a lot of you guys out there sort of thinking 2022. Have you got? I'm kind of getting used to not going to Thailand now. The longer it goes on, believe it or not, the sort of more easier it's becoming. I'm kind of settling into things here. I've got a dog. I like to go out on long walks at the weekend and stuff. It is boring, and I'd love to have a week in patio. I really would, let my hair down, but it is what it is, isn't it? And I'm used to it now, and however long it takes, can't do a lot about it. Andy Booth, I bid my vacation at work for November. I bid my vacation for work for November. Still confident it will be at, yeah. Let's hope so, Andy. Let's hope so. Carl, it depends on the vaccination program how it will go. Yeah. Patty Jimmy, I hope it's over by November. Yeah, me too. Have you seen that channel? I often talk about different YouTubers. I never say anything bad about anybody. If I don't like them, I just don't talk about them. But there's a guy, he's getting a lot of subscribers, and I can understand why. He's based in Pattaya. I think I've mentioned him before. He's got a channel called Buzz in Pattaya, I think it is. He's an English guy, very down to earth. And obviously he's based in Pattaya, so he's a little bit Pattaya. He's a little bit unique because most of the Thailand vloggers, bloggers, whatever you want to call them, they're making videos about anything and everything in Thailand. And you guys are saying some of them are getting a little bit stale, boring. I might be included in that. I don't know. I'm not in Thailand. But this guy, about a month ago, he had 12,500 subscribers. I had a look at him this morning. He's up to about 17.5. He's doing very, very well, and I think he'll get up there. And good luck to the guy. He's got a great channel. If you get a chance to check him out, have a look. And I've watched a couple of videos. I've now subscribed. I don't watch every single one of his videos because a lot of what he talks about I already know, and it's old hat to me. But I like some of his videos, and if you're sort of fairly new, you would find that interesting. Good evening, Ed. Nice to see you on the stream, Edward Sweeney. I'm trying to book for November with the voucher I did ask for. Yeah, I don't know if you watched that. That was I watch Edward Sweeney's live streams on a Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Very good, very entertaining. And he bought a ticket, luckily for him, on a credit card, and he's taught me a lesson because I always buy it on a debit card, but I've never had a problem. Just not because I'm clever, just out of good luck. And Ed bought this ticket, and with everything that went on, they cancelled it. The airline cancelled it, and they sent him a flipping a voucher. He didn't want to. Who wants a voucher? You want your money back, right? And then you can book it with them next time or somebody else. And he went to his credit card company, give him his money back, and then they took it again, which must have been so frustrating. But they're basically saying, well, they sent you a voucher. He's saying, well, I didn't ask for the voucher, and it's just a nightmare. And there's lots of things going on like this at the moment. So yeah, but luckily, as I say, I think it's a good lesson to be learned there. Make sure you if you buy your ticket, buy it on a credit card, you've got some protection. Right, Seamus Doherty, I'm sitting on a pile of cash, Peter. Ha ha. I'll give you my address at the end, Vol. Andy Davey 123. If all okay by October, do you think people will go as soon as possible, or sit back and wait for reports if what it's like? Yeah. So what Andy's saying is, if they suddenly said tomorrow, right, it's open, you can all come over, is it going to be flooding? Everybody's going to jump on a plane? I don't know. I wouldn't be cautious. I'm not afraid. It's not like I'm going to think, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like. I'll wait till people have been and I'll listen to what they say because I'm scared to go. Not because of that. If I didn't go immediately, it's one of two things. It's going to be because I still work and I can only travel during the school holidays. I'm not a teacher, but I do work with the local councils now part-time, and I can only get away during school holidays. So that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is, like I said to you before, I think I would wait a month. I'd probably wait a month. If they opened it tomorrow, I'd probably wait, and I could go. I'd probably wait 3 weeks to a month just to let it all settle down, because even if they opened up and said, no quarantines, no vaccinations, you don't need anything, everybody's still going to be on edge, and you'll need time for the bars to open. People have said to me, do you think Pattaya will ever be the same? All the bars are closing down, but like I keep saying, the Thais are very, very resilient. If you've got cash in your pocket, they'll find a way to get it out of your pocket and into their tills, which is quite clever on their part. But if there was a bar there and you want to go and drink in that bar and it's not there anymore, they'll make sure that a new bar opens there to get your money, and that's quite interesting, quite good like that. Okay, I read another piece today about Pattaya, and do you remember a few months ago I was saying about this big story? The mayor or the Thai government were going to try and turn Pattaya into a world-class family destination. I mean, that's like turning the Vatican into a nightclub, isn't it? I mean, it just isn't going to happen. But I read today something that I thought about it. I thought, yeah, that's quite a good idea. So I did actually print something out for you here. Let me, if I can find the thing. I've printed too much out today, I think. Quite a good idea for Pattaya. If I can't find it. Here we go. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to tell you about. I'll just read this out because I took this from one of the news websites. So the title of this is Pattaya to renew efforts of making it a technology hub. So not a family world-class entertainment town now. It's now a technology hub. So what they're saying, in an attempt to bring more business travelers to the city, the push to make Pattaya a major tech hub was originally started before the COVID-19 slamdemic, with renewed efforts starting again after Chonburi province has seen no cases of the virus in 2 weeks. So that isn't a bad idea, really. I mean, they're saying like there's a lot of buildings in Pattaya that can cater to these venues, and if you think about what is already there, presuming that's going to be there after all this goes away, then if you've got conferences with guys who go there for these big tech meetings and all that, they're going to be happy. The girls in the bars are going to be happy because they're going to have a lot more customers. The guys are going to have stuff to do in the evening, not sitting and watch cable TV like they might do on a conference in, I don't know, wherever. So yeah, I can see that happening. What do you guys think? Is Pattaya going to be the new technology hub of Thailand? Mazaku, good look, Ed. Michael Genius, is it? Genius? No, it can't be Genius. Genius. Beginning 22. Massive Coconuts. I love that name. Hi, how you doing? Gary Smith, without any restrictions, Christmas, they are going to be vaccinating like hell from July. Need a few months out there from there. Darren Drew, got 3 weeks of it in November. Fancy Blackpool. Yeah, Skegness is a bit nearer to me. Patty Jimmy, yes, he does. Yeah, Nick, yeah, you're talking about the channel I was just talking about there. He does good videos, yeah. Nick Frankel, Trevor makes great content. Yeah, is that his name, Trevor? Okay, yeah. I mean, there are, like I've mentioned to you before, personally, this is just a personal, it's not, I'm not criticizing anybody, this is just my own thoughts. When I watch YouTube channels, the kind of guys I like to watch, they're down to earth, they're not talking bullshit, they're not waving their hands in the air and giving it all the, you know what I mean. I don't like those sort of channels. I like that. I like this one I've just been talking about, the guy in Patty. I like Ed Sweeney. I like Ride for Kicks. I like the guy, I can never remember his name, but he does a retirement channel. I liked, he's dead now. What was his name? Hello, people. Forget his name, but you'll tell me in a minute. You know, people like that. There's guys who've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I don't watch them because I just don't like them. They're good channels, very good. They're doing really well, but they're just not my sort of channels. Like Damien Simmons, this is on the question. I said to him, if he's got his family, why doesn't he go on quarantine for 14 days? Because you're not going on holiday. So he's written, have a business to run. I used to go 4 times a year, 1 month at a time. Can't be away for any longer at a time. It's my problem. Sorry for flapping my track. No, that's fine. I understand now, because I assumed, I'll say that word. I assumed that you were, you know, you had this Thai wife and child, and that you just couldn't get back. I thought you were retired, but if you're running a business in the UK and you can't get away, that explains it. Okay, Davey Boy, Buzz and Patty is good. He gets out and about, down all the stories, seems to know the place very well. Yeah, well, he has. One of the streamers I was watching, he said he's been there 10 years. So I should hope he would know it. But yeah, he's a down to earth guy. And I like the way he does his interviews. And I think when I eventually get back to Thailand, my sort of style would be more towards him. I don't really like copying other people. Sometimes you do get accused of copying. If your channel is similar to somebody else's, people will say, oh, your channel's like his, or I've heard this story over there, or you do. It's nothing to do with that. I mean, emulating, that's a nicer word than copying, isn't it? It's not about that. You know, you do your own thing and it comes out how it comes out. And that's just how it is. Danchi 1313, think positive, October 21. We all need, yeah, a vacation in Thailand soon. Yeah. Dennis, love the t-shirt. I got that from Tesco's yesterday, £8. I'm not a man of fashion anymore. Talking of the fashion police, I had this guy. Oh God, I don't know. These guys have got too much time on their hands. I did one last week. It was the story video, not the one I've just done, the one before that. And I had on a sweatshirt, and I've lost a lot. I mean, I've put weight on. I'll talk about that in a second. But I was a lot bigger than I am now, and I had clothes that were really big, and I've lost quite a bit of weight, although I've put some on. But I've lost quite a bit of weight from when I used to wear those clothes. But I've got this nice sweatshirt, which is really comfortable, and it's thick. And it was very, very cold when I made that video 2 weeks ago. And when I was wearing it, it looked a bit big. I know that because it was a bit too big. But some guy wrote a comment to me and said, oh, your shirt's too big and you should get a smaller shirt. And I'm like, oh, come on. You know, you're coming on a channel and you're going to complain about the shirt. You know, fashion police, more fashion police out there. Okay, let's try and get away from this COVID-19 subject. I was going to tell you a little bit about the diet. Yeah, one of the challenges I'm going to have this year is I have, although I used to be much bigger in those days, I have put on weight, and quite a bit of weight. I'm now, my ideal weight should be 90 kilos. I've always sort of hovered around the 100. At my very worst, when I was a slob, I was about 120, believe it or not, 122. Currently, I'm about 112, and I feel lethargic. I feel lazy. My knees hurt when I go out. Just before this, about 6 months ago, I'd lost about 12 kilos on a strict diet, and people were actually sending me comments on the channel and saying, what do you do? How do you lose this weight? We can see your face has gone down. And it's just so hard, guys. And it's what it is. I don't have a weak character, but I get bored. I really get bored. I'm sitting watching TV. My wife, who's from South Korea, she stuffs every freezer and every cupboard to capacity with everything you can think of. And you're sitting there and you have a beer And it's there, isn't it? You open the cupboard, you look at it, and it's like it's shouting at you, eat me, and I don't want to. Anyway, I'm going to have to do something about it because I just, it's nothing to do with looks. I don't think I'm going to get to Patty and suddenly be a handsome man. Just need to have a few pounds in my wallet, don't I? But no, it's just, I think if you, I think a lot of people I know have put on weight because of the boredom of what's going on at the moment. And I think it'll be a good idea if we, if you have, maybe try and get a few pounds off. I'm certainly going to have a go. But I'm going to wait maybe till April when things start to ease off a little bit from this end. Right, Life of Razor, great live, thank you. Right, Michael Gaines, Ed, tried the Sainsbury's pork pies pucker, mate. Yeah, if you watch Ed's stream, you know what he's talking about there. I'm trying to not read out so many of the COVID-19 comments. I'm trying to talk about something else now. Matthew Olcombe, thought the tip about today from your story was great about spraying deodorant on arms and legs was great rather than mosquito spray, as the stuff stings and takes paint off. We'll use, yeah, if you didn't watch that video, that was the one today, the first story, the long one. It was sent in by Pat. As I said, he's very good at writing stories. He can make a nothing story sound really good. And what I was, he suffered very badly from mosquito bites. And what a lot of guys do, they go out there and they buy purpose made mosquito repellent. You really don't need it. What I learned many, many years ago, and sorry if you read this or you listen to the story then and you hear it again, I'll say it very, very quick. But the deodorant you put under your arms, take 3 or 4 cans out with you. And before you go out of an evening, say in patio with shorts and t-shirt on, just lift your shirt there, spray your arm, a couple of seconds, this side and that side. Same with your feet. Spray the tops of your feet and your legs to just above your short line. You will not suffer a single bite. I promise you that. I do it every time. I haven't bought mosquito repellent for 20 years. It works for me. And somebody argued with me. They said, no, it's because mosquitoes only like blood type something or other, and you must have. It does work, guys. It does work. Okay. Right, Ed, Michael, try the Sainsbury's Cornish pasties. They are lush. There's only one Cornish pasty I like. It's a company called Ginsters. They're very, very expensive. All their products are expensive. You buy, they do like chicken, motorway cafes everywhere. They do like a chicken and mushroom baked slice, or they do a, this is really about Thailand, is it? But I've seen the subjects come up. They'll do a chicken and mushroom baked slice. They do steak and whatever slice, and they do a Cornish pie. And I don't really like Cornish pies because the cheaper ones, they tend to put a lot of potato in. But if you get the I've just said it, I can't remember the name. Gintish, is it? I forget the name of it now. But if you get that particular brand, the one I just said a minute ago, they're very good quality, but they are expensive. But you get what you pay for. Right, who else is with us now? We've got 203 in the chat now. Jeff Ives, the word is that Pattaya government aren't going to renew the licenses of the waterside businesses in Walking Street when they're due for renewal. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. I've heard people say that the local government down there are using this as an excuse to get rid of all the entertainment side of things. In that, without coming straight out with it, you've got to read between the lines. The bars and everything, with the girls. The conspiracy theory is with what's going on now, they're trying to wipe out all the bars so that they've got this reputation that around the world. It's the same reputation for girls as what Vegas is to gambling, and apparently they don't want it now. It's and they're trying to wipe out the bars. But I don't know. I think if they were, they're the government, they don't need to try, do they? They just send out the boys in brown and shut them all down. So I don't know. What do you think? Kevin Thailand, that's it, Damien. Do you remember a Pattaya blogger? He was called Kevin in Thailand. He always started his blog like, "Hello, people." Yeah, he's passed away now, God bless him. But he had quite a good following, quite a good blog. Yeah, Black Bolt, you got it as well. Yeah, a lot of you got it. Loose Feet Adventurer, Academic Traveller. You're all great guesses. Kevin Thailand. He got ill, didn't he? I don't know what happened to him. We won't get into it too deeply. I don't want to, bring it all up again. But it was very sad. I remember watching some of his videos, and he looked really healthy, and he got really thin, and scrawny. You could see his face, and then he passed on, and very sad. But we're all getting older. Edward Sweeney, buzzing Patty is very informative. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I'm subscribed. I'm only subscribed to half a dozen YouTubers, but I'm subscribed to him as well as yourself, as you know. Right, Cham Falang. I think the question is, who actually wants to sit 12 hours on a plane with loads of other people? I certainly don't. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it, can you? I mean, Thailand's 6,000 miles away. It offers something that nowhere else offers in the world. And if you want to enjoy what Thailand has to offer, you have to sit through that 12 hours, or you can sit at home, not take the flight, but you're not going to enjoy what Thailand has to offer. It's as simple as that, isn't it? I'm 61. I hate the travel. Absolutely hate it. And I mentioned last week, I'm really struggling to get a nighttime flight now. I won't go over old ground again, but I used to go Eva Air, direct flight, 12 hours. And I used to leave Heathrow at 9:30 at night, have a few beers in the bar, get on board, have another beer. They'd bring the drinks round. I'd have a glass of wine. I'd have a whiskey. You know, I'd just fill myself up with alcohol, crashed out, good 8 hours, and I was good to go when I landed in Bangkok at 3:30 the following day. And then coming back, I used to leave about 1 o'clock in the morning. Because of the time difference, I'd get back into Heathrow about 6 a.m. My car was parked on Bath Road in Purple Parking, and I drove home. A little bit dangerous, I know, because I'm tired. Tend not to do that these days. But it's a long journey for sure, and there's no getting out of it, is there? You know, you do it as cheaply and as quickly as you can. And for me, it's Eva Air, a 12-hour direct flight. But what I'm not very happy about at the moment, or when it was all back to normal, like I say, is I can't get the night flight on the return. And what happens is, because it's a day flight, like I keep saying to you, I don't drink in the daytime, very, very rarely, because I've always been scared of becoming an alcoholic if I drink in the daytime. So it's a golden rule of mine, don't drink in the day. And so what happens, I'll get up, and you know what it's like, a sensible person, if you've got to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning to get to the airport, because it takes off, I think it's 1:30 Eva Air, 1:30 lunchtime, a sensible person would have a nice meal in Bangkok, one or two drinks, to go to bed, pack, and to be asleep by 11, all fresh for the next day. I don't do that. What I do is I get absolutely hammered, sloshed, because my last night, not only do I stay in Nana till 2 o'clock, I then walk down Soi 4 to Hillary's, which stays open till 3, live band and everything. I get back to my hotel, and I probably have about 4 hours sleep. I wake up, and my tongue is like an Arab sandal. I mean, absolutely dying of thirst. I crawl down to the taxi, and I get to the airport and I feel rough. Rough is an understatement. But it's your last night in Bangkok. You don't want to waste it, do you? But that's what I do. Whether I'll be able to continue doing that because of my age, I don't know. But that's what I have been doing. Okay, let's check in with some of your comments, see what you guys are all talking about. Yeah, you got it as well, Nick. Kev. Pat here, Jimmy. Red light district will move to Soi, Bacau, Soi, Excite, and between 3rd Road. Yeah, possibly. It's your guess. Your guess is as good as anybody else's. I don't know if you guys, when you go to Pattaya, have you ever ventured over to Naklua? That's North Pattaya. That's a nice place to go if you're on a date, if that makes sense. You're on a date in Pattaya, but there's some very nice low-key bars and restaurants, and it's not in your face Pattaya. It's not quite jumped in, but it's if you go to Pattaya and you rent a scooter, or I'll tell you where it is. When you go on the 2nd road, you get to the Dolphin Roundabout. Normally, you turn left and you go down to the beach. Instead of going left, if you go straight, that's Naklua. That's North Pattaya, and that's worth exploring. I used to have an apartment down there, and it's quite a nice area. It could possibly move over there. They've got when you get to the next roundabout in Naklua, you've got some huge soapy massage places on the left, a couple of them together, and I mean they're real big. So who knows? Guys 7, Kevin Thailand, we miss you. You follow the chat in heaven. Nice thought. Patty Jimmy, the new tree town is getting built in Soi Excite across from the P Plus Hotel. Okay, some information there. I mean, where in the world do you get a street called Excite? Soi Excite. It says it all, doesn't it? Right, Valsron, Peter, when are you going back to Thailand? I can't answer that, mate. I don't think anybody can. Michael. Okay. Hi, Tom. Tom Waddington just joined us. Nick Frankel, funny as hell when people want to criticize your appearance and content like they are your producer paying these big bucks to you. Yeah, if you've just joined us, that was about the fashion police. I was saying I had this big sweatshirt on and it was a bit baggy on me, and some guy wrote to me and said, you need to change your shirt. And, you know, it's like, you know, I don't get paid for what I'm doing. It's a hobby for me. I might very well monetize in the future, but at the moment I don't. It's just a hobby. And, you know, the way I look at it is if, you know, the stories I tell every Saturday, okay, they might get stale to some people, and I do get people unsubscribe, but that's normal. A lot of people write in, they say they like the stories, keep them going. So, well, I've got nothing else to do. I think this is the 5th week with the live streams. I quite enjoy talking to you guys on live like this. It's another aspect to it. But if you are with the fashion police out there, then, you know, keep it to yourself. I'm not really interested. Right. Michael I don't know if is that Genius or Genus, Geni. I'll just call you Michael. That's easier, isn't it? Buzz and Pat here. Ed and yourself, Peter, are the best. Oh, thanks for that. I don't like to class myself as like in a competition, but it's, again, like I said to you a few weeks ago, it's personal choice, isn't it? There is a massive couple of YouTube channels out there which I don't watch because they're just not for me. Now, they're great. They've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They probably make lots and lots of money. And if you ask most people, they'll probably say they're the best channels out there. I'm not disputing any of that. All I'm saying is they're not the sort of channels I like to watch. You know, that guy Buzzing Patty, I hope he watches this because he'll be happy that he's got a shout out tonight. Maybe somebody can let him know. But he deserves a shout out, and you know, it is a good channel. Right, Dan Chess 1313. No matter how much kilo pounds, still stay sexy, man. Well, you know what? As long as you got a few quid in your wallet, you are a handsome man. Yeah, and Darren Drew, everyone's a handsome man in Pattaya. Until you run out of money, Darren, until you run out of money. Digital Crab, talking of dieting, having watched videos from a couple of years ago and now today, I think the board ladies have also put on a few pounds. Yeah, that's interesting because I remember, you've got to remember, guys, not everybody, a lot of guys, but not everybody is into these little petite Thai girl. I'm talking about the single guys now, not married men like me, of course. I've got to try and say this in a polite way now. Yeah, I've noticed when I first went to Thailand in the 90s, you never, ever came across a plump Thai girl, never. In fact, if you see them when you turn your head twice, just surprised. But yeah, they're getting onto the Western diet now, aren't they? They've got the McDonald's everywhere and just all the Western food. And they like it as much as anybody else. So you know, if they don't work out, then obviously they will put the weight on. But I'm not criticizing them, I'm just answering your comment there. Right, Nezin, is it? Hi. Stephen Gale, Loy Krathong would be fab in Chiang Mai in November, but reckon it won't realistically pan out with Movid passports, etc., till 2021. And that leads me quite nicely into Songkran. Let me just read this to you. Now, what do you think of this? Do you remember last week I said that the local mayor of Patti was trying to let they wanted Songkran to go ahead, and they were thinking, yeah, they'll probably be able to do it. If you've been living on the moon and you don't know what Songkran is, it's a Thai New Year, and a lot of it is throwing water over each other and this white powder on the face and all that sort of thing. It's actually a lot of fun, but the serious side of it is a religious holiday. So let me just I'll read this out to you. It's very, very short. So it says, socially distanced Songkran allowed, water fights to be banned. Thailand's cultural minister says that while this year's Songkran holiday will go ahead, activities such as water splashing, foam parties, and the dubbing of powder paste are likely to be banned. The Bangkok Metropolitan Association may decide to close Kaesong Road, normally a water fight epicenter. Aren't all the entertainment areas? The Bangkok Post reports that this year, the new Thai Year holiday can only be marked with traditional customs, such as the pouring of water over Buddha statues, paying respects to the elderly, giving food to the monks, and other merit-making activities. Well, you know, again, just a personal opinion. I think that's fair enough. At the end of the day, they're trying to get rid of it. The Cyrus, like the rest of us, all the other countries, and it is, at the end of the day, it is a religious holiday. People sometimes forget that Christmas is it's a religious holiday, isn't it? Christmas, the true meaning of Christmas, the word, it's actually, we pronounce it Christmas, but the word is actually Christ Mass. So Christ's Mass, yeah. So it's a religious holiday. And, you know, with the kids and everything, we forget about the religious side of it. And it's just a party, isn't it, for the kids? And it's the same with Songkran. It's, you know, foreigners like it. They get these electric water pistols and they're squirting each other, and it's a lot of fun. But I kind of agree with it. If they don't want to lay on Songkran this year, it's understandable. They're trying to keep the population safe, and it's 1 year out of many, isn't it? Who else we got? Right. Monya, every man is handsome in Pattaya as long as you have deep pockets. Yeah, I mean, you're more handsome the deeper your pockets. If your pockets go down to your ankle, you are like the most handsome man in Pattaya. Right. I'll Milt. I always get your name wrong. Sorry. Writes coal tar soap. Mosquitoes hate it. Smells like creosote. Yeah, but who wants to go out smelling a creosote? If you've just joined us, we were talking about the mosquito repellent. There's no need to use it. You can use regular deodorant that you put under your arm. Just spray it all over your arms and legs. You won't get any bites there. I have heard what you were saying before. I did hear that before. The Wright's coal tar soap, because it smells, but you do really smell then, don't you? If you want to go out smelling like a whatever. I mean, I don't think it's necessary. Kevin Afton, Pattaya, handsome town. It'd be really interesting. Ginsters, Simsea Ginsters. Yeah, the jumping from one subject to the other here, because you guys are helping me out. But the Cornish pasties, I'm forgetting as I'm reading, it's old age. The Cornish pasties, I was saying, the Ginsters, that's the name of the brand. They're very, very good quality, but they're expensive. Ed, if you're still watching, why not try Ginsters Cornish pasty on your next stream? You'll only need one. They're very, very filling. Microwave for about 30 seconds. That'll be an interesting one. He normally has his pork pies, Ed does. Right, Stephen Gale. England is amazing for walking with your dog, plus country pubs and real ale enjoy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. You sometimes forget what you've got here. I lived in Thailand for a lot of years. I didn't come back because I often come back. But I lived continually for about 3 years without visiting. I always used to come back to visit my mum, but she's gone now. And what I used to notice was when I came out of Heathrow, I'd come up in the car and somebody picked me up, or a taxi, whatever. And it's just how green this country is. You don't... you forget, you know, you're living in a concrete jungle like Bangkok, and you come back to the UK. It is a very beautiful country, actually. The countryside, we're very, very lucky. And, you know, we've got great quality water in the UK. We've got great quality air. So there's a lot worse places to live, believe me. Right, Kevin Afton, only male top models. Dennis Wyatt, yeah. Yeah, okay. Nezin, Edward Sweeney, Roger the Dodger. No, it's Roger or Dodger. Okay, Pattaya Jimmy, that's on the Thai news. No license for waterfront. Okay. Well, I'm not. You know, I'm not giving you. I'm not telling you. I'm giving you exclusive news tonight. I'm not. All I do is what you can do yourself. I go on. I've got about 6 news channels on my PC saved. I get notifications. I'm on mailing lists from these news channels. So every day I get an email from each of them. And all I do is the last few days, I collect stories that I think might interest you. And it just brings us something a little bit different into the stream. But no way am I saying, you know, stop press, exclusive, Thailand bound is like CNN. I'll bring you the latest. I'm not saying that. You know, I'm just trying to give you some quirky stories. Metal Hamster, great name, evening. Yeah. Kevin Afton, he had cancer. That's Kevin, the Thai blogger. Was it cancer? Was it? Do you know what kind of cancer? I do remember watching him. I don't think I was subscribed to him, but his videos always turned up somewhere when I was watching YouTube. And I remember looking at him, and he just looked kind of totally normal. And I hadn't watched him for a good few months. And I caught one of his videos, and he was so thin and scrawny, and those glasses looked so big. And I thought, you're not well. You're not well, which obviously he wasn't. Nazi, hey Peter, nice to see you live streaming coming along. Yeah, enjoy doing it. I keep looking at the clock because I've got the Kronenberg all lined up. It's been in the freezer. I'm really paranoid about putting the beers in the freezer now, guys. Do you remember I said to you, I put them in the freezer and I left them too long. And when I took them out, the cans had widened like that, and I couldn't drink them because they were absolutely frozen solid. So if you want to chill your beers quick. It's great to put them in the freezer, but don't leave them in there too long. And it depends what kind of freezer you use. If it's like a little larder, pissy fridge with a little thing at the top, you can leave it in there for a couple of hours, it won't freeze up. But when you put it in a serious hardcore chest freezer, like I've got in my garage, then 45 minutes longer than that, you're risking it. But we're okay tonight. Right, Damien, looking forward to meeting you and streaming in Buriram. I've already sorted out your accommodation for you, 2 minutes from my house in the village, and you can use one of my scooters. That's really, really kind of you, Damien. You don't have to go through all that trouble. I mean, you know, we will do a stream together. I'll come up to Buriram. I've been to Konkan in Isan. I've been to many parts of Isan, and one place I have never been to, as I keep saying to you, I've never been to Buriram. I always thought it was a tiny hamlet, a little village, nothing happening there. But from what I'm hearing, it's you know, like I keep saying, you've got the speedway up there, and it's you know, things are happening. So I will. I'm not just saying this for the sake of the YouTube channel, whatever. I will come and visit you. I'll come up in one of them Toyota silver buses. I mean, they're only, I think it's 180 baht from Bangkok to Hua Hin. So to get to Buriram, I might even fly up there. What would it be? A couple of thousand baht. Konkan's got an airport. I know I flew into there years ago. So we'll see. But thanks for the offer anyway, Damien. Right. Andy Davey 123. Walking Street Beachside has been spoke about for years as it goes onto the sea, which is owned by the Navy. Also, it's got to go to make way for the planned monorail. Okay. Is that the monorail that's coming through Hua Hin? When I was last in Hua Hin, and I did make a video about it, they've put it looks like, you know, the pylons that the BTS runs on in Bangkok. They look exactly the same as that. They run parallel to the railway line at Hua Hin. When I was there, they were just pylons. I looked at Johnny's video, Johnny's channel a few weeks ago, and they've now got the struts, the line across, the concrete sections across, and that's going to be bringing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Chinese from mainland China through to Thailand. It will stop at Hua Hin, Bangkok, all the rest of it. And from what I gather, it's going all the way down to Malaysia. So are you now saying that that same high-speed train, the pylons are going through Walking Street? I haven't heard that. I'd like to know more about that. But it doesn't matter, because whatever they've got in Walking Street, it doesn't matter that it's in Walking Street and the pylons will go through. Don't think that, okay, they'll close and put the pilots, that's the end of it. The Thais are resilient. They want to make money. They're not going to just say, oh, they've closed my bar. Oh, well, better go back to my village in Isan then. They will move. They will do what it takes to get your cash. You know, that's what they're there for. We're there to have a good time. They're there to get our cash. It works for all of us. So, you know, they're not, wherever the pylons are going, they'll replace whatever they've got. Paul Francom, Jeff Carter is good when he's in Thailand, but he's in Spain now, and it's not the same. Jeff Carter, yeah, I watched a couple of his. I've seen one where he was miming to Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up, on the beach. And I think after that one, I don't think I watched any more. I'll have to go back and have another look. Maybe that was a one-off. Metal Hamster was watching Bangkok Diaries Thailand live stream earlier. He was singing your praises. Okay, I'll have to go and have a look at that. So, Dave, if you watch this one, thanks for that. Obviously, your channel is there. I'll go and have a look at that later. That's the thing now, isn't it, you guys? You've got so much choice, haven't you? Because even me, I'm doing a live stream now, but a year ago, there wasn't that many. Well, I wouldn't say there wasn't that many people, but not everybody who. I think YouTube's changing a lot. A couple of years ago, when you watched YouTubers in Thailand, they were more towards the line of travel vlogs, where people would go. They'd walk up a soy, and I've got to be careful how I say this now, because if somebody still makes these videos, I don't want to criticize them. But it used to be like they'd walk around the MBK Center and say, "Hi guys, I'm in the MBK Center. Here I am on the third floor that sells nothing but computer parts. We're now going down to the second floor. Hope you enjoyed the MBK Center." Blah blah blah, and that was it. But it seems to be developing now. You know, that CB Media, he's racing ladyboys on the beach and giving boats away. There's other channels that are doing similar. You got that Chris guy. He got some huge donation from someone and took all that food down to the schools. That was quite good. So it's kind of reinventing itself, and you've got so much choice with these live streams now. And it's like I always say to you, I don't think to be successful with the live streams, I don't think there's no secret formula. I don't think you have a magic wand and you'll suddenly be popular. There'll be people that come across you if you do a live stream and they think, I can't stand this guy, I don't want to watch him anymore, and they'll never come back. And there'll be other guys who can relate to you because they're of a similar age, they've done similar things in their life, they kind of like how you come across. And if they take to you like that, like I do with some channels, like I mentioned before, if somebody takes to you and they like your channel, they'll keep watching you. As I say nearly every week, I like Ed's channel, Ed Sweeney. I watch his channel, I have a beer, it's relaxing and it's not too heavy. So, you know, you've got a lot of choice now, haven't you? Right, back to your comments. What are you guys all saying? Jeff Ives, Paul Frankham, Jeff's back in Cheshire now and has been for 2 weeks. Jeff's back in Cheshire. Okay. I don't know where you guys get these names from. Highway Star, Simi Soul. Standard last night, Peter, for me too. Yeah, we're talking about the getting totally pissed before getting on the plane the next day. Hi, Keith Morris. Digital Crab, watching a very good documentary that showed that plane ventilation is much better than people believe. Yeah. Right, do you know what, guys? It's spot on 10 o'clock, and it's that time again. Cronenberg, can't beat it. I'm going to have one now. I think I mentioned last week I used to drink this Stella, but it's crap now. I think they've changed the recipe. It's just got a horrible taste to it, like a bitter taste. I don't like it. I've tried many beers. I find it, you know, hard. It's very difficult to beat this one. This is a smooth beer. So we'll have a drop of this. Right, if you're having a drink, whatever you're having, a beer or whiskey, whatever, cheers. Cheers. Oh, best part of the stream. Let me just top that up. Okay, YouTube has hidden your message, Paul, but I don't think it's offensive. Let me just try and show it. Is it showing? There you go. It should come up. Paul said big girls are best. There is a club that caters for, like I was saying earlier on, for you single guys, there's not everybody likes like little petite girls. There is some people like bigger bone girls, if you say it like that to be polite. But there is a place, maybe you can tell me because I forgot, but if it's down the other end of Walking Street, and you tend to get that kind of girl in there and that kind of patron in there, if that makes sense. I won't get myself in trouble. Okay, De Sanchez 1330, Naklua, Germantown. There's a lot of Germans all over Thailand, like there is a lot of British, Welsh, and Scottish. It doesn't mean it's there's nothing wrong with that. New York native. I have 9 days left in quarantine. Hang on, I'm going to go right back to the beginning because somebody sent me a message. I didn't read it out, and he's from. I've lost him now. He's in Chicago anyway. I can't find your message. If you're still watching, hi to you. I noticed you left the message before the stream started, so you said you're in Chicago and it's a kind of bit of a windy day. Okay. Catch up with some of these. Damien Simmons, Buriram Airport, Bangkok to Buriram, 1 hour flight. To my house, 30 minutes. You know, Damien, when I'm in Thailand, the last thing on my mind is trying to get somewhere in a hurry. I'm not bothered. I mean, I'll go 18 hours on a blue bus. It doesn't bother me. Jeff Carter is back in Warrington now. Okay, I understand. Paul Watts. Hi, Peter. I've never been to Thailand, nor will I probably ever go. That said, I find listening to your stories really interesting. Thanks for the entertainment and enlightenment videos. Well, Paul, thanks for that. They're not actually my stories because they're sent in to me, but I get what you mean. And if you've just joined us, and I said at the beginning, do you remember last week I was saying that there might not be any more stories because I'd run out, nobody's sending me any. Well, I've got a bunch of them now. I put out 3 today. I'm just having a quick look. At the moment, as I'm looking, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so the stories are coming in. What I'd actually thought in the middle of the week, I thought, well, you know what, I'll change the format. I'll stop doing the stories because I'm not getting any more, and I'll do the news roundups again. They're a lot of work, you know, when you do the news. But, you know, as long as you'll have to let me know. Do you still like the stories? I'll keep doing the stories. Andy Davey, 1, 2, 3. Monorail from Naklua to Jomtien, not from Hua Hin. Okay, I got you. Not from Hua Hin. There's also talk about building a pier to be able to take cruise ships. Apparently, that ever happens, Yeah, I used to work on a cruise ship years ago, and it used to dock at Pattaya. But if you go to Pattaya on holiday, when a cruise ship comes in, I don't know, do you want to, so many thousand people hitting Pattaya like that in one go? I remember years ago, I was looking through a book. Do you remember them? Books, print, pictures. I was looking at a book, and there was a picture taken in Pattaya. I think it was Pattaya or the Philippines. I'm pretty sure it was Pattaya, but the US Navy had come in, and there must have been something like 600 to 700 girls on the beach waving and screaming their arms at this ship out at sea. They probably couldn't see them even, but that was quite interesting. Right, so Andy, what you're saying is, yeah, I'm with you now. So you're saying that they're going to build a monorail from Naklua to Jomtien, and that makes sense. So Naklua is in the north of Pattaya, Jomtien is in the south, so it would go all the way from Naklua straight through the main part of Pattaya, carry on through Walking Street, and then go all the way to Jomtien. That'll be quite a good service, actually, if that comes off. Matthew Alcom, I give Thai women play pool about 5 minutes. Okay. Paul Watts, the older I get, the less I like long distance travel. I just about manage a 2-hour flight. It's horrible. It's horrible. And I've done it so many times now. Sometimes I think, do I really want to go? Do I really want to travel 18 hours? But because of what it's got to offer at the other end when I get there, the prize is worth going for, isn't it? Paul Hoskin, after 20 beers, I take off my glasses. Okay. Highway Stars, John Smith's is smooth. Cheers. John Smith's, yeah. Oh, the lagers are getting recommended here now. Academic Traveller. I recommend Thornbridge. I can't even pronounce that. It's a German lager brewed in Derbyshire. Amazing pint. So I'm presuming you're in Derbyshire. Right, Adam Oldie. Carlin is the best lager in the world. Really? I find that a bit weak. I class that as a breakfast beer. You brush your teeth with that in the mornings. It's not something I'd want to. But fair enough if you like it. Right, Nick Frankel. Paul Hoskin, be careful drinking that many in cockatoo or Spankies. Yeah, all right. You'll have to have been there to understand that one. Nick Franco, 808 full of thick girls on. Yeah, that's it, 808. So we're talking about for the single guys here. When you go, the kind of, that's what they call them, isn't it? Thick girls, the bigger build girls. They tend to go down to a bar called 808 because that's where they hang out. And people who go on vacation who like that kind of girl, they go there. So anyway, right, Joel, I'm drinking Disaronno. Actually, cheers. Academic Traveller, chubby chasers. We used to call them that back in the day. I had a friend who was really into big girls, and everyone used to take the mickey out of him, and it wasn't fair, really. I mean, he just liked big girls, and they used to come out with things like, they say he doesn't go for the looks, he weighs them in. He's got scales on the back of the BART bus, and he will weigh them, and the heaviest one goes on with him. Chugsy, Thai chick girls put in more effort. Okay. You're talking about lady boys. All right. I always get accosted by lots of them when I walk back on Soi 4. Not really accosted, but it's I call it the walk of shame, because when you come out of Nana, I like to get one of those burgers. There's a little burger stall there, and when you come out of Nana, I stay at the hotel right at the very end there, as I keep telling you. But I like to walk. It gets, I wouldn't call it fresh air, but gets some kind of air. And there's a lot of them down there, and they don't just say hello or ask you a question. They actually literally grab you. You've got to put your hands on your pockets. It's okay. D-Rock, stories are the best, Peter. Thanks for it. Yeah. Okay. So D-Rock says thanks to everybody for sending the stories in. And yeah, I mean, without your stories, guys, I couldn't make the videos every week. Some are better than others. I do understand. Right, Chugsy, no name. The spinners tend to lay there stiff as a board, waiting to get paid. All right, let me just put that up. Okay. Edward Sweeney, I love to go on a cruise ship, but they are all anchored in the sea doing nothing. Very sad. Yeah, I mean, have you seen those pictures in Pattaya? Those boats, small boats, big boats, shit, nothing's moving, is it? Okay, lots of nice comments coming in. This beer's going down well. Cheers, guys. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Right. Well, this is interesting. Somebody sent me this. Do you know, second-hand information? I rely on you guys to send me everything. So imagine the scenario. You've got a girlfriend in Thailand. She doesn't speak much English. You're trying to communicate with you, and you're banging your head against the wall because you want to tell her something. She's not a bar girl. She's just a Thai girl you met. You're doing a long-distance relationship. You talk to her on WhatsApp. You talk to her online. But her English is very limited, and you can't express yourself. You can't tell her exactly how you want to express yourself. You can say, like, you know, how are you? Everything okay? But you can't express yourself. Okay. So get a pen and paper if you're in that situation, because there's a guy, he's recommended a book, and I'll read out what he sent to me. And if you get this book, you're going to have some better conversations with your Thai lady who you're in a relationship with who doesn't speak that great English, right? Okay, so this is what he wrote to me. I don't know if you've heard about a book called Thailand Fever. Thailand Fever, okay? Only I wasn't sure if it's something I could recommend to any of your viewers who may be thinking of starting up a long-term relationship with a Thai girl. I saw a few comments last night on your live stream about can Thai women cope okay away from Thailand. I should stress I have no affinity to the authors in any way whatsoever, but I only mention it as I do think it's a great book for any Thai Phalang couple to read when starting out. I say couples as it's written in both English and Thai, a page in English, then the same page translated into Thai and vice versa. So you get that, right? That's good. So he can read in English what he wants to say to this girl, and all she's got to do is look on the other side. It's written in Thai and it's exactly the same. Lost my place now. It covers both English and Thai cultures and all the complications that arise from a mix of such things and how best to approach them and overcome them. It really is great for both partners to be able to read and come to terms with the various differences. I know because it helped my wife and me such a lot in the early days of our relationship. We would talk over the phone about PG 21 or 41 or whatever page, and she could read the Thai side and understand. And likewise, she would ask me to read a particular page. It really was informative and good way of addressing certain things without anybody losing face. So if you missed that title, it's Thailand Fever. That's the name of the book. And I think that's great. I think that's great. So if I was in one of those sort of relationships, I'd be straight onto Amazon. I'm not on commission, guys. No, I just think it's a good idea. Right. Let's see what everybody's saying. Right. Dan says 1330. So happy fan Thailand band watching since December 2019. Now we have such a great community. Must say you're the best audience, guys, in the chat. Okay. Paul Hoskin, at 30 beers, I start giving the girls 100 baht. You start giving them, well, how much do you normally give them then, you tight ass? 20 baht? This is something I spoke about a while ago. I always give 100 baht, always. It's just, look, for when I'm on holiday, I've got money. I'm not, it's up to you what you guys want to do. But, you know, if somebody gives me good service, they'll get 100 baht. And what used to wind me up a little bit was people who live in, expats who live in Pattaya, I'd have confrontations with this. I mean, I remember sitting in a bar one day, and I only had one drink, but I'd give the girl 100 baht because what the guy didn't know is I'd been in that bar 7 nights in a row. I'd only had one drink, but I'd been in there 7 nights. And for all 7 nights, that girl took care of me as a waitress, yeah? And I give her 100 baht, and this guy turned around to me and he said, oh, you spoil it for the rest of us. That's what he said to me, you spoil it for the rest of us. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, you know, we live here and we don't tip them, or we give them 10 baht or 20 baht. You're giving her 100. You're spoiling them. And I thought, you know what, you're pathetic and it's got nothing to do with you. And I left. But there are people out there like that. Steve Francis, you take your wife to Pattaya. So if you don't know me, I've got a South Korean wife. She's very open-minded. I've been to Thailand many, many times by myself. I had a business in Thailand after the hotels, and it wasn't always practical to take her. She has been to Pattaya once. She didn't like it. It just wasn't. I mean, you think about it. A woman in Pattaya, foreigner in Pattaya, what's she going to like about it? Maybe 1 or 2 restaurants, but you can get that anywhere in Thailand. So I used to go, like I say, she was very understanding. So when we lived in Bangkok, we lived at that time on Soi 24. If you want, by the way, if you wonder why I keep dipping down there, there's a heater. It gets hot, cold. So anyway, Yeah, at that time we lived on Sukhumvit Soy 24 at this particular time, and what would happen is I'd go down to Pattaya for the weekend. I'd go down on a Friday night about 8 o'clock. Leave. I was driving back then. Go down with a friend. He's passed on. He's not around anymore. And then we'd come back on the Sunday night. I'd say to her, "Do you mind if I got a Pattaya?" She had a lot of Korean friends who had hairdressers and salons, nail bars, that sort of thing. So she was cool with it, you know. I mean, she used to go out. We were earning good money back then, so she used to go out and meet her Korean friends, and they'd go out to dinner and you know, all that sort of thing. And I'd go down to Pattaya with my friends, and the less said about that, the better. So let's move on from that. Right, right. Matthew, I work with someone who went to Pattaya every year. He abstained. Well, you know, people do. I mean, not everybody goes there. Not everybody goes there for that. One of the funniest things, certain things stick out in your mind, don't they? You know, when you talk to the bar girls. And one thing that sticks out in my mind, I remember I was in Jumtian, and I was there was a couple of girls there, and I was with a friend, and we were having a drink. Not with these girls, we were just having a drink, and they happened to be sort of there. And I went to the toilet, and when I come back, one of the girls was gone. I said to a friend, I said, "Oh, where is she?" She said, "Oh, she go ST, you know, upstairs." And I said, "Oh, I didn't see any other guys there." And what she said to me, she said, "No, him wife stay on the beach. He come in for a, you know, he told his missus he was going, you know, get a hot dog or something." And you know, as you do. Anyway, I think I should have brought that story up. Really, let me talk about something else. Okay. Right. What else are we going to talk about? Just, I don't want to get depressed again because we kind of moved away from this, but I just printed this off just about the COVID-19 again, about things getting better or worse. I printed this one off. I'll just read this very quickly, but I won't go into it in a big way because it's a bit depressing, but it just lets you know what's happening. So the title of this is 6 markets shut in Bangkok's Bangkai district as infections rise to 224. 6 markets in the Bangkai district of Bangkok's scene of a new cluster of COVID-19 insections have been closed for 3 days. A number of insections linked, you know what I mean by insections, linked to the markets. Out of 4,991 people tested between March 11 and March 14, 224 have been tested positive, 3,086 tested negative, while 1,681 are still waiting for the result. So it hasn't gone, guys. It's still there. I just thought I'd read you that little bit out there. Let's try and find a nice story. Oh, okay. Here's one for you. Do you remember every time I talk about this, people say to me, no, I see vaping. I told you a while ago, I stopped vaping in Thailand. I was a heavy smoker ever since I was 15. I went on to the vape. I've now given that up for about 2 years. Don't feel much better, but I've given it up anyway. And the reason I gave it up, if you've watched this channel regularly, you know, the reason I gave it up was because I was in Hua Hin and I went to the beach. I got a little Honda Click. I like to go down there in the evening, just sit on the wall on the sand, just watch the sun go down, you know, by myself, and I just find it quite pleasant. Anyway, I went down there and there was a sign on the wall: no vaping, 2 years in jail or 20,000 baht fine. And I thought, for vaping, 20,000 baht. So I just made my mind up there and then I wasn't going to vape anymore. Not because I was scared. I wasn't going to give somebody an excuse to get 20,000 baht out of me at my holiday month, which is about 500 quid. I thought, no way, they're not going to get the money out of me for that. And every time I tell that story, I get a lot of comments come in, or bits and pieces to the website, and they say, no, if you look at videos on YouTube, there's hundreds of people using vapes in clubs. It's okay. And it's not okay. You know, they might get away with it, but it's illegal. It's totally illegal. Let me just read this out to you today. So this is about a guy selling the vapes. But it just shows you how illegal it is. So it says, Thai man in Pattaya arrested for allegedly selling e-cig vaping products. We are cracking down on electronic cigarettes in the area overall as part of a national drive to protect the health of residents. We had received a tip-off from a concerned citizen that vaping products were being sold at Jamlong Market in Naklua and immediately responded. That's the boys in brown. So, guys, if you use a vape, you'll probably get away with it. I used to use it all the time, but you've only got to upset somebody in a bar, and you know the situation. You upset somebody, you think nothing of it, you carry on drinking. That guy goes to the police box on Soy 4, says there's a guy in that bar, he's openly vaping. The boys in brown come down, you're in trouble. So it's just not worth it, honestly. All right, let's get back to the chat, see what you lot are saying. Yeah, Stephen Goodall on the comment of the 100 baht tips and stuff. I agree. Some people are too tight. I know it's different if you live there. If you're an expat, you're on a budget, aren't you? You can't throw cash around like you're a 2-week millionaire. Like when we go there, I'll spend $2,000 in 2 weeks, £1,000 a week. Don't ask me how, but I do. But I'm not looking at menus. I'm not looking at prices. I don't go stupid, but I'm on holiday. But I suppose if you live in Pattaya, then obviously you can't live like that. So these guys, they do go out to bars, but I still don't think that gives you the right to say to the guy sitting next to you, you're spoiling it for the rest of us by giving that lady 100 baht. That's surely got to be my choice, not his. If he doesn't like it or he doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But don't, I don't appreciate people telling me that. Right, loves music. Greeting from Hamburg. Nice channel, Peter. Thanks. Go on like that. Maybe a video about compare Philippines and Thailand, just for suggestion. Okay, so I've had this one a few times. The reason I haven't made a video to compare the Philippines with Thailand, I have been to the Philippines several times. It wasn't for me. I mentioned this last week. The Filipino people were very nice. They all spoke great English. But to give you an example, the local Filipino food, it wasn't for me. I can go anywhere in Thailand, eat local Thai food. I find it completely delicious. It's more my style. On top of that, I don't have enough experience with the Philippines, so I can't really compare, the Philippines in depth to Thailand because a lot I don't know. So I don't really want to make a video about something I don't really know. That's why I haven't done it so far. Paul Hoskin, I've walked from Pat Pong to the Aroma Hotel a few times after drinking all day, about 2 miles at 2 in the morning. That's one good thing about Bangkok. Well, all of Thailand really. It's so safe, isn't it? I know there's scams that go on and gem scams and tuk-tuks try to rip you off and all the rest of it. But how many times have you been totally pissed, rat ass, absolutely drunk, and you're walking through the streets of Bangkok at sort of 2, 3 in the morning? You always get back to your hotel. Nothing happens to you, does it? It's just, that's what one of the great things about Thailand. Okay, Steve Francis, YouTuber moderating comments. They are, but what they seem to be doing at the moment, Steve, is they're giving the channel owners the option of approving it or not. There was one that came through tonight, and it said hide or approve, and I approved it because it just said something about big girls, which is fair enough. But that said, maybe they will override that and start taking comments down. We can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Popcorn, is shisha banned in Thailand? I've seen it being used in Gogo. Having said that, guys were throwing money around, so staff were laying it on for them. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? We're talking about the vape being banned, but the Arab shish pipe is a big glass hubbly bubbly thing. I've never tried one, but they've got a load of pipes. But I'll tell you where you see a lot of them is talking about Walking Street again when everything's okay. When you go right to coming in from where the tourist police are, the van, where they set up the van and the tables, go right down to the far end, and on the left you have like a little Arab quarter there, and you see the Thai girls puffing on this. So I don't know if they're illegal or not. Maybe the rules are different for the Thais as to us, but yeah, who knows? Bob, all right, Bob, don't shame big tippers, don't shame poor blokes. Effing celebrate, you bloke can share the experience that too many men around the world have learned about spread the Thai life. Okay. Seamus, viewers, I've obviously missed your first comment on that. Academic travel, IPA pretty good. I've just got some in front. An Irish brewer called Whiplash. Not heard of them. They'll arrive midweek. Okay. We're talking about all the different beers now. I'm on the Kronenberg myself tonight. All right. What do you want to talk about next? 240 in the chat now. Let's heat on for a few minutes. Right, so we've done that. Okay, here's an interesting one. I don't know if you read this one. This is something I pulled off the internet today. A Dutchman in a Thai jail for alleged involvement in SPM scam now getting donations. You couldn't make it up, could you? A Dutchman was arrested last month at Bangkok's passenger airport. Police say Mr. Wesley, along with his wife and child, were about to flee to the Netherlands. Police alleged that around 100 million baht had already been transferred to banks in neighbouring countries. Police suspect 10,000 people fell victim to the SPM shopping mall scam. People were paid to click on products, giving it a positive rating to boost the SEO rankings. The more money invested, the more they could click and potentially more money back. A GoFundMe page has been set up asking for donations to pay his bail, hire a lawyer, and reunite Wesley with his family overseas. Well, if he's made 100 million baht, he hardly needs a GoFundMe page, does he? Couldn't make it up. Right. Little bit from Chiang Mai here. Chiang Mai's air pollution sends over 30,000 to hospital, ranked worst in the world. Air pollution in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand is allegedly responsible for over 30,000 people visiting the hospital seeking treatment for respiratory illnesses. The city, known for its burning season that blankets the air with smoke, has recently taken the top spot of having the worst air quality in the world. That's really strange, because I have been up to Chiang Mai. And I remember when I was in Bangkok, it was very good air up there. It was particularly clean. Chiang Mai is in the mountains. It's surrounded by mountains. The Thais who are from Chiang Mai, they've got a lighter skin because it's a little bit cooler up there. Very pleasant. And this pollution, it's something to do with the burning. The Chinese companies that are based in countries outside of Thailand, just over the border, but they do all this burning, and all this smoke comes across. I remember when I was in Singapore lots of years ago, they were doing burning in Indonesia, and it was like something from the Doomsday Book. I remember standing on my balcony in Singapore and looking out, and it was like a can't say the word. It was like something from a disaster movie. It was just awful. You looked around, you thought, wow, the Earth is it's just not nice. But now they're saying Chiang Mai it's the most polluted place in the world. Now, when you think about places like Delhi and Mumbai and Mexico and a lot of the cities in China where they still use phosphorus fuels, burn coal, to say that Chiang Mai is more polluted than any of them places, it's unbelievable. And having been there myself, it's just, unbelievable. Adrian Smith, Chiang Mai is also in a valley, so the smog gets trapped in the city in the valley. Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because of the mountains and that. It's in a valley, yeah. Crop burn in North Thailand. Let's just go back, see if I've missed any of these other ones. Okay, some of these conversations, you're talking to each other, having these private chats. That's fine. Andy David, 123, WT Jesus, I see what you mean. Stupid prices. Okay, you're having a private conversation. Okay, Bob, I'll put that one on screen so people can see that. Billy Pats, will Pattaya bar owners survive until October? It's a difficult one, isn't it? New York native, easy, stop the burning. Well, they won't, will they? Because it's money. That's how they make their money. So it's like, they won't stop it. Okay. I'm trying to pick out the messages where you're not talking to each other. Okay, here, Super Spur. Friend of mine got robbed of his gold chain right by the police station in Hua Hin by a couple of ladyboys on a motorcycle after cruising around Bintabar area after bars closed. Beware. Yeah, I mean, I was saying a while ago that it's very safe in Thailand, but of course incidents do happen, and unfortunately ladyboys are not painting them all with the same brush, but you do hear a lot of incidents concern ladyboys. Stephen Gale, does the burning from northern Thailand drift down as far as Hua Hin? No, I shouldn't think so. And it's on the Hua Hin is on the other side of the Gulf of Thailand. So if you imagine, it's like a horseshoe, isn't it? Thailand, Pattaya is on one side, and they used to do the boat that went across, and you'd end up in Hua Hin on the other side of the Gulf. Right, Seamus Doherty, 240 viewers. Peter, your channel is getting. Well, I wouldn't say it's getting big when you look at people like Chris's channel. I mean, I'm just a minute channel in a sea of bigger channels, but I don't mind. Like I say, believe it or not, guys, I know it sounds really corny, but I'm not saying I'll never monetize, but I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now, and I really enjoy it. And it is a hobby. It is, you've got to have a hobby, haven't you? I've got other hobbies, but I do enjoy making the relationship videos. The best thing about getting sent the relationship videos is I get to read them first, and I find them very interesting. They are a lot of work, I don't just like get a story and read it out and that's it, done and dusted. I mean, when I get a story, I've got to correct it a lot of ways, a lot of slang words that people might not understand. I have to take swear words out. I have to sometimes rewrite passages out to make them more simpler to understand for an international audience. Then I've got to break it down into blocks in a Word document so it's easy to read. Then I have to read the whole thing to make sure it comes out. I'm not spurting, like an idiot. And then I finally read it and it generally comes out fairly okay. And then I've got to, find backgrounds and music and, do a thumbnail. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. I haven't been sent, this isn't a hint, guys. I'm not like going to be an e-beggar now, but I have got, not a GoFundMe page. What's it called? My memory's getting terrible. It's, a Patreon page. I don't have a lot in there, but I used to get quite a few people sending little donations through PayPal, get me a couple of beers and stuff. But I suppose everybody's broke at the moment. Last sort of week, I haven't. I've had good weeks, but the last sort of couple of weeks have been quite poor. Nobody's sort of really sending anything. That's fair enough. Like I say, I'm not. That isn't a hint. I'm not sort of saying please send me money. I've got money. I'm not broke, as it were. But it's just, like I say, it's just changing a little bit. Right, Fred West, what Thailand vloggers do you watch? You come in quite late, Fred, because we did discuss that. At the moment, I quite like Buzzin Patia because he's down to earth and he has some good content. I'm not going to get into it in a big way because we've already discussed it, as I said. But personally, I don't like the sites. I don't like the YouTubers who fling their arms around in the air and, they're so full of energy. They're trying to do this American thing and it just doesn't suit them. That's not the sort of channel I like to watch. I like down to earth channels. Right, Bob Cassidy, D-Rock 977. I was just thinking about the 5 second ago. Men are not that hard to understand. Soldiers just want appreciation and sincere thank you. Okay, so you obviously, let's talk to somebody else. Ross Oztai, have you any experience with fireworks? Well, we've all got experience with fireworks, haven't we? The best fireworks show I ever had was when I was in China in a place called Dalian. It's a coastal town. I was there setting up. I hated it, but anyway, that's another story. But I was there, and they put on this firework display. And I tell you what, I've never seen. It was just, when you watch a really big fire display, the last part of it, they do a big finale. Anyone you go to, and I mean, you imagine a real big one like in London where they do the finale. It was like the finale for 2 hours. It really was. I'm not exaggerating. Nothing like it. But then the Chinese invented fireworks, didn't they? Oh, okay. Yeah, Damien, I know you do, mate, and I really, really appreciate it. And as Tesco says, every little helps. Highway Star, Timmy Saw. The Naked Guru is a channel that's worth watching. A lad from Bolton, living a life on a farm, very easy to watch. Okay, I haven't seen that one. But the thing is there's so many channels in Thailand about Thailand. There's guys in Thailand as we speak right now. There's guys who are not in Thailand. You're just sport for choice, aren't you? You're really sport for choice. No name, doing the American thing. Love it, Peter. Ross Oztime. More buying fireworks for yourself. I'm not really sure what you're getting at there, Ross. I don't really get what you mean there. Sorry. Luke Wimpiano, welcome. Just in case anyone missed it, for those in UK, the book Thailand Fever is £20 in Waterstones. Definitely worth it. Okay, Luke, thanks for that. Yeah, if you've come in late, it was about that book called Thailand Fever that they'll do a page in English and a page in Thailand. If you've got a Thai girlfriend who doesn't speak much English, you can read something from this book and she just looks on the other side and it says it in Thai. Great way to communicate, apparently. James Abroad is another good channel. I've not heard of any of these, but then you got to remember, guys, I don't have a lot of time to actually watch YouTube channels because I do work. I work part-time, but the thing is I spend a hell of a lot of time looking at news channels for the stream, reading these stories that you send me and putting them together. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't want to go on the PC. I try and make. I try to make Sundays a day where I don't go on the PC, because it can get a bit too much sometimes. I've been on the PC from kind of 9:30 in the morning, still been on it at 9:30 at night. Not constantly, but you get to a point where that's what I love about having a dog. Sometimes I'll go at 8 o'clock at night, fresh air, and I'll go for a real long walk. And it's like it really. I know it's corny, but you brush the cobwebs. It's brilliant. Same question, James Barr. Same question. When do we think we can go on Thailand same as before? I don't know about same as before. Okay, Jason. Buzz and Patter is a very good channel, very informative. Yeah. Okay. He's yeah, he owes me a few points, that guy, doesn't he, for promoting this channel. I've been talking about it all night with you guys. Is there anybody else based in Pattaya at the moment who's got a decent channel? I don't know any. Do you? On to my second Cronenberg. Just have a think about that one while I'm pouring this. He seems to be the sort of best one at the moment down there. Right. I shan't have more than two. These are pint cans. I only buy them when I do the streams. I usually get the 440mm. And I poured that one too fast because it's going everywhere. Right. Already 1 hour 35 minutes. We'll give it a while longer. Right. Okay, Keith. Just had a Maxine, so I'm one step closer to traveling. Right, Paul A, Ride for Kicks. I often mention Ride for Kicks. I like his channel. He's down to earth. But what I like about him, he's got this really calming, soothing voice. He should be doing ebooks, I think. He's maybe it's his accent where he's from. He lost a lot of weight. He did a very good video where you see a picture of him. He's a real fatty, typical. I can't say anything because I'm getting that way. But he went to a small beach town, Bang something or other. I know exactly where he went to. It's kind of at the top of the Gulf of Thailand. It's there's nothing there. And obviously he got bored because he come back to Pattaya. But that's where he went to when he lost all his weight. He did long walks and stuff. And well done to you for that. Okay. Yeah, I've watched that one, Chocolate Man. I've got to be careful now because remember the video about Desmond? I'm still getting slated. But yeah, his channel is called Chocolate Man. For obvious reasons. Kevin Afton, I have a crystal ball. That's nice. Mr. J, Bang Sen. Right. Wayne Agate. Nick Dean's got a good channel. I've not heard of any of these. Right. Andy Davey 123. NDBTV is awesome, but almost like a TV program. Also, Chocolate Man in Thailand is also very good, which we just mentioned. Phil from Le Pub is a funny guy. Yeah, Phil from Le Pub. Somebody else told me about him. I must spend one day and just go. I'll keep this channel saved. I must go through one day and look at all these channels. Did anybody hear Bangkok 112 got demonetized? I just found out he hasn't put any content out in a long time. Yeah, if you didn't come across Bangkok 112, if you're missing Thailand, and you watch any of his videos, it's like a virtual night out in Thailand. I mean, he's made some very, very good videos. He's very clever because he's never been in any of the videos. He just films, everything. He's very good at concealing his camera, and he'll film various. But he has pissed off a few bar owners actually for filming the bars. But I don't know why, if he's been demonetized. Do you know the reason why? You said he's been demonetized. Do you know why? Be interesting to find out. I would imagine that if you get demonetized, I've got to put this heat on again. I would imagine, there is a line of communication with YouTube. I would imagine they don't just demonetize you and that's it. I would imagine they write to you and tell you why. And there must be a reason. If you put a dodgy video up or you swear or you talk about something they don't like, I would imagine you could rectify that. But if I know he's got something like 800 videos uploaded. If he's got something that YouTube don't like, and it just happens to be in all 800 of them videos, and he's screwed basically, isn't he? Alexander Dupont, you're very late into the stream, but welcome anyway. Bangkok 112 and Thailand Red is the same. Yeah, I hear you on that one. a nomad overseas. Saw that vid about him losing weight. He would walk up and down Beach Road early each morning, about 6 kilometers. Combined with Thai food, he lost loads of weight pretty fast. Well, I don't know about pretty fast because it took him a year and he still hasn't achieved his end goal. So he did go from absolutely huge to sort of almost normal in about a year. And he did do it. Like I say, it's an interesting video. He did it the way you've just described it. But a year is a fairly long time and he still hasn't reached his goal. If you listen to that video towards the end, he still weighs himself regularly and he's still trying to lose a bit more. But when I lost a lot of weight, I went down to, when I worked in India, I was about 100 kilos. I went down to 86. My goal was 85. And I just, once I got to 86, my body would not lose anymore. I just could not get another kilo off. I was in the gym. I actually went to the gym 3 times a week. All I was eating was 1 bowl of soup a day. I wasn't drinking hardly any beer. And my body just, I got down to 87 and I just couldn't drop another kilo. So, you know, your body has got a kind of on-off switches as far as how far it'll go. I suppose if you got locked in a room and you weren't fed for 3 weeks, then yeah, obviously that's different. Billy Pats, Nick never asked for money. The options there if you're viewing. Okay. Paul A, lot of vloggers are getting watched ATM by YouTube, as YouTube not keen on bar girl streams, and a few vloggers have done stuff which YouTube don't like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been with me for a long time. Some of the videos, what I used to enjoy to do, but I've changed it now because I'm not monetized, but I just didn't want all my videos to be taken down. But when I told a story, I used to put a background picture in. So I'd say he arrived at Walking Street. Then the picture behind me would change to the Walking Street sign. He walked through Walking Street, seen a lot of pretty girls. He finally arrived at Happy A Go-Go. Then there'd be a picture of Happy A Go-Go. You know, then they went to eat and there'd be a picture of a restaurant. But I took them all out. I replaced all my background images. So I basically deleted the video, re-edited it with just normal background, like a waterfall or a mountain scene or something. And I re-uploaded them because I was a bit paranoid because of what you were saying. I thought, well, one day they're going to come on there and say all these scantily clad girls in bikinis and, you know, you're sort of promoting red light areas and stuff like that. I wasn't, but I just got a bit paranoid about it. I thought, it's a lot of work. People enjoy the videos. I don't want to lose them. And I did actually delete about 30 videos because I got a bit keen in the early days. I was talking about bar fines, prices, and, you know, really the nitty gritty stuff of it. And I thought they're not going to put up with this. So I deleted all them videos. Right. Paul Hoskin, my favorites are Ed Sweeney, Thailand Bound, and The Buzz. Okay. Thanks, Paul. Right. Alex DuPont. Cheap Charlie was cringy and awkward to the point of being funny and like a TV reality show. I think I watched him. Is he the guy? He's got a little bit dark skin. He looks like he's almost kind of like Moroccan or something like that. And he lives like really. He goes to the market in Patty at 5 o'clock in the morning, buys vegetables, that sort of thing. Mick Thompson. I caught malaria and dry leprosy in India. Nice. Yeah, I had a bit of this in the early days. Bob Cassidy. Yeah, I'll put this up on screen. Yeah, I did get a bit of this myself at the beginning. Hopefully this will come on the screen. You just have to ignore it. You just have to ignore it. Right, Jason Budhai, the Tiger is also a good channel. Yeah, he's a very good channel actually. I mentioned him before. He did he's done a lot of videos, but the one I watched recently was where he was studying Soy Cowboy and he was talking about, you know, the workers losing their income and that sort of thing. It was very good actually. Yeah, I hear you, Alexandra. Damn, we are heading into self-censorship, political corrected crap nowadays. You can't get away from it. Right, Andy Davey. Brian Flowers has been doing loads of YouTube and has over 30 odd bars. Nightwish group. Okay. What did you think? Have you ever watched any of them videos that are they're actually the bar? It's a live stream from a bar, and you got the these girls jigging about, and you can buy them a drink, ring the bell, and all the rest of it. Have you ever watched any of them? It wasn't for me. Then the girl, well, no, less said about that, the better. Michael Mead, Sean in Wonderland. That is right. Any more live streams with Simon? Yeah, right. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about Simon, the other one who tells stories. I'm talking about Simon, my friend. What's happening with that? You know, we started this second channel, and we were doing a live stream together, and it turned out to be really difficult because Simon's got a full-time job. He runs a factory. I'm actually going to put a video on Monday that Simon took on that channel. But what we're kind of thinking about now, we're still sort of putting together a game plan. But what we're kind of thinking is just keep this channel, but bring Simon in on this one and do everything here, because it's nearly, I don't know how many subscribers I've got now. It should show me on here. Not a huge amount. 17,800. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it, to sort of, he will be back. Simon will be back for sure. Okay. Kevin Afton, no, that's his friend Sean. I don't know, private conversation there. Right. Bobcaster, they want us to silence the men and their successes. Jimmy 1888. Have you seen Walking Pineapple? Nope. Paul A, I find the bar girl streams boring. They can't connect with the viewers. Okay. Somebody sent me one and they said, have you seen this? And I watched it, and there was about 6 girls dancing about in this bar, and they over-exaggerated. It just wasn't natural. And I mean, I don't want to be derogatory, guys, but they weren't the A-team. That's what I'm going to say. They weren't the A-team. And I watched it for about 3 minutes, and I thought, this is crap. And I went away. But, you know, if it brings a little bit of money into the girls, if they're suffering and the bar's able to stay open, you guys are happy to watch it, and you're happy to buy a few drinks from them, then, you know, fair enough. It's just a personal opinion for me. It didn't interest me. Okay, what else have we got? Here's another one about Chiang Mai. Nearly done with all these now. The heading, Chiang Mai hotels slash prices amid ongoing slump in tourism. Hotels in the northern province of Chiang Mai have been forced to cut their rates by up to 90% in a desperate bid to attract more tourists. Tourists mainly favour the southern beach destinations this month. Hotel operators in the north of the country are preparing for the forthcoming low season. The forthcoming low season? You've had a low season for about 18 months. Yeah, Jason, just on that one, I'll read another one in a minute, but let me put this up on screen because I've got something to say about this. I presume the picture's not you, Jason. Right, so Jason's written, your channel opened my eyes to various bar girl scams, saved me a lot of money. So what I always like to say, guys, is don't, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. You just got to keep a level head on you. You know, you got to remember they're there to earn money for their families. If they can get a few extra baht out of your pocket because you're a little bit drunk or you're not really taking care of your money as well as you should, then you can't blame them. They're doing what they do. They're not going to knock you on the head with a brick and take your wallet. But if they can squeeze a few $100 out of you, that extra. But don't be paranoid about going there and getting ripped off and all the rest of it. It's not that bad. Okay. Yeah. Here's one I thought you might be interested in if you go to Bangkok regular. The heading on this one is Hard Rock Cafe Bangkok closing Siam Square branch after 30 years. I was offered a job in the nightclub in the Novotel there, but I went to Khon Kaen instead. Right, it says the Hard Rock Cafe Bangkok, located at Siam Square, will celebrate its 30th birthday in that location by closing down. Funny way to celebrate. There you go. The news came in an announcement on the official Hard Rock Cafe Bangkok Facebook page that states it is just pausing and will return later in a new location. Yeah, they got a lot of competition now, haven't they? 30 years have been there. I mean, when the Hard Rock Cafe opened up in Bangkok, they didn't really have any competition, and they were the sort of main players. I think now Hooters are, you know, before all this happened, Hooters are giving them a real good run for their money. I think we're pretty much done with all these bits of news. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. So you'll have to let me know. These little bits of news I read out to you, they're on all the news websites out there, but you'll have to let me know if you like them or you don't like them. I tend to keep the streams going for about 2 hours. It's quite difficult. When I was doing the streams with Simon, it's very easy to, because if you can't think of anything to say, then Simon will jump in, and then when he dries up, I'll jump in. When you do streams by yourself, it's kind of difficult to keep it going for 2 hours. So these little news snippets help a lot, because when the chat goes a little bit quiet, I can refer to the news channels. But if you don't like them, let me know, and if they're okay, let me know as well. All right. Right, Paul Hoskin. I'll finish them now, so I'll do another 10 minutes. I'll concentrate on the comments now. Read what you guys said. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about now for the last 10 minutes, and we'll call it a night after that. If you're having something to drink right now, guys, big cheers to you. I'm on the Kronenberg, and this is the second one. Mr. J, live streaming is fine to keep the bars going, but hope things will return to normal. And Nomad Overseas saw something recently about a big condo company in Pattaya filing for bankruptcy. Wonder if many were snookered with that it had bought from. It's depressing. It's all doom and gloom. I'm surprised. I read an article, well, not one, several articles about a lot of the condo. I mean, you know what Pattaya is built on. You know who goes to Pattaya. It's not happening at the moment. You think how many guys, Thais are in, or foreign companies as well, that invested in huge apartment buildings because it's a good business to get into. The rents come in nightly, daily, weekly, whatever, and they're empty. Some of the apartment buildings are absolutely empty. Even the Thai apartment buildings, you know, the ones that don't have any elevators, they're 4 floors high and they're just full of Thai bar girls. There's no bar girls. They've all gone back to Isan, most of them. So even they're empty. So everyone's hurting. I don't know how they can survive, actually. Steve Francis, yeah. Edward Sweeney, Paul Hoskin, only 200 to the massage girls. Are you sure you got the best ones? Yeah. So I missed what Ed's replying to there. Paul must have said that it cost 200 baht. But I think, Paul, if you're saying 200 baht, you probably mean for the regular massage, right? Not the soapy massage, just the the regular massage. But it still seems cheap, actually, 200 just even for a regular massage. Okay, D-Rock, thanks for that. That gives me more of a clue. Okay, Paul, I wonder what the state of a lot of hotels are like around Thailand. I saw a documentary about Bali. Most the 5-star hotels are being let go. Swimming pools empty, stuff all trashed. That what you mean? They just kind of walked away from it because they can't pay the staff and they can't pay their bills. They just locked the front door and walked away. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if you're looking for somewhere cheap to rent, I mean, yeah, if you can get to Pattaya and you're looking for an apartment, you're going to be they'll bite your hand off at the moment. All right, guys. Anybody else want to say anything before we go? Talk about anything interesting? Oh. If you do leave a comment, I don't respond to it. If you leave something in the chat, I don't respond immediately. Remember, there is quite a long delay from when you click enter to when I can actually read it, because it goes through this software I'm using, then YouTube. Right, Mick Tomside got a 200 baht hand massage on AOI pothole. Okay. Right, Mazaku, what is the funniest thing you've ever seen in Thailand? Oh, there's so many. We do another 2 hours on the stream. The things that I've seen that are really funny, they're not complicated. They're very simple. If you said to somebody in the UK, what's the funniest thing you've ever seen, it would be something quite sophisticated, wouldn't it? Something quite funny. But that's not how it works in Thailand. The things that are often funny are very, very simple things. Like, I'll give you an example. I think I mentioned this last week or the week before. So if you've heard it, sorry, I'm repeating myself. But I want to answer your questions as far as what's the funniest thing you've seen, but a simple thing. So in those days, as I say, I used to smoke. I was walking down Walking Street one night. There's a guy standing there, Thai guy, Marlboro Red, Marlboro Light, full packets, selling them. You know, you go buy, you want cigarettes? And I thought I might need to buy some later, not now. So I said, well, how much are they? And he said, they're 50 baht. I won't do the Thai, but I'll just tell you. So he said, they're 50 baht. I said, okay, thank you. Might be back later. Went 100 yards down the line. down the street, there was another guy selling them, and you could see this other one from where we were. And I said to the second guy, "How much are yours? Would you sell how much are these?" And he said, 55 baht. And I said, 55 baht? I said, he's selling them for 50 baht. What's the difference between yours and his? And he said, 5 baht. And he meant it. So, I mean, things like that, that's what I mean. That are very, very, you know, another thing, I remember a foreign girl that I knew, and that's what it was. I knew her. And she went into a shop in Mabukong. She was looking at some dresses. And the Thai girl said to her, and she didn't mean to be offensive, she just limited English. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have anything. You're too fat for any of these dresses." And she didn't mean it to come out like that. If she'd spoken really good English, she meant to say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have your size." That's how she meant it. But the way it came out in English, she said to the woman, "I'm sorry, you're too fat for any of these dresses. We don't have anything for you." And, you know, obviously the woman was a little bit shocked and offended. But so funny things in Thailand are they're kind of very simple. The Thai humor, a lot of the Thai humor is I'm not saying they're simple. They're not simple, but you could tell a Thai guy the funniest joke in the world and he won't laugh. But if he's seen someone in a wheelchair fall out, he'd probably, you know, start laughing for about 20 minutes. So I hope that answers that. Right, who's that having a Carlsberg? The chat's gone quite far. Oh, James, enjoyed your chat again. Having a Carlsberg, extra large. Cheers. Keep on trucking. Yeah, you got to have a beer on a Saturday night, haven't you? I'm on the Kronenberg. And as always, my wife doesn't like me drinking this. I won't drink it now, but as always, special reserve. I'll probably drink from there to there, no more than that, but I have to hide it. I hope she doesn't watch this stream. And when you have to hide it somewhere very discreet, we have the smaller bottle there. Anyway, enough of that. 5 minutes. Let's change this picture to something a bit more exciting. There you go. Right, have a drink. You're almost there. Look, the Istanbul kebab right behind me there. Let's go and get a kebab. It's a little bit of an older photograph, this one. If you see that sign, the one to the left of Happy Go Go, that Sweethearts a Go, that's not there any longer. So a little bit older, the photograph. The signs are so funny. Yeah, I did a video on the funny signs, didn't I? You guys, I put a call out there to send me any funny signs that you've seen in Thailand, and you sent them in, and that's up on the channel. It's a good video, that. Kevin, I had a Thai girlfriend, kinda, who brought a car on a monthly payment, a stupid thing to do, and if she couldn't pay the monthly fee, the bank would take the car away. But that's normal everywhere, isn't it, Kevin? If you get a car on finance in the UK and you stop paying the finance, they'll come and take the car off you. I don't know what that one's about. Steve Francis, she's with your neighbour, mate. Okay. Edward Sweeney, I love 3 Barrels brandy. Do you know what, Ed? I that used to be my drink of choice, 3 Barrels, but I just used to get incredibly pissed when I took it. This whiskey, it's Tesco whiskey. I think it's 40% proof. I think the 3 Barrels is similar, but I don't know what it is. It gives you a nice warm brandy, you know, a nice buzz, and it goes down smooth. But I used to get really pissed, and I had a total really bad hangover. I can after this stream finishes, I can go and watch maybe an hour of YouTube or something. I watch it on my, not here, in the lounge, and I'll have a couple of whiskeys, you know, and I'll be fine in the morning. But if I was on the 3 Barrels, I just can't. In the morning, I'm absolutely wrecked. I don't know what it is about 3 Barrels, but it's a nice drink. It's my birthday next month. I might treat myself to a little one. I'll be 61. I know with overseas, yeah, the bonkers sound effects that the Thais add into your TV shows confuse me. It's like they got the soundboard from Looney Tunes. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. No, I'm not going to say it. It's criticising Thai. I'm not going to say it. Mick Thompson, no pork pies for you. No, that is a Ed Sweeney trademark. The pork pies. I've suggested a Ginster's Cornish pie for his next stream. Whether he will or whether he won't, who knows? You'll have to wait till Wednesday, 10 p.m, and I shall be there. John Hooker, Everything Patia is a good newish channel. Everything Patia, I might have seen that one. Right, Andy123, I can mimic Mr. Bean and have been asked for autographs. We'll have to, when I learn how to bring people into this stream, we'll have to bring you in and you can do it for all of us. Right. There you go. That's what you're missing, isn't it? Right. Jatin Kotecha, is it? Peter and Ed, get yourselves a bottle of Remy Martin and let me know how you get on. Yeah, Remy Martin's a bit upmarket for people like me and Ed. Well, certainly me anyway. Remy Martin and Hennessy are great. If you go to Hong Kong, Singapore, they're very popular. Remy Martin, Hennessy, they you know, they're very popular drinks. Right, Damien, I'll tell you when I meet you. Not here. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of really good channels about Thailand now, but I'm just wondering how long people can keep them going for. It is tough some weeks, you know. Like I say, I do it for a hobby, but some weeks I think, oh God, I've got to do another video. Not often. I like doing them, but some weeks I think I've got to put out another one, keep the momentum going. But it's really tough, you know. When you can't, I should be on a beach in Thailand saying, hey, look, you know, I should be in a hotel in Thailand. I should be walking down the beach road. I should be in Hua Hin, not telling stories, but. Edward Sweeney, Hennessy is lovely, but you never see it on offer in Asda. Yeah, I shouldn't. I was going to say they wouldn't put something like that on offer, but saying that, Ed, I like whiskey, and my favourite drink is Black Label. I actually enjoy Black Label, but it's a bit pricey for me in the UK to buy a bottle. But Tesco's, quite often they'll do a sale, not a sale, a promotion, and the normal 70 cl bottle of Black Label is about £30 normally. And they'll do a promotion where they do it for £20. And when I go to get a special reserve Tesco's whiskey, if I see it's on offer, I snap it up because I do like a drop of the old Black Label. Right. What used to always, I've mentioned this before, what amazes me is the young Thai girls when they go out to a Thai nightclub. I don't go to Thai nightclubs now, but when I was younger, when I was about 30 odd, I'd go to these big Thai nightclubs. And you get girls 18, 19, 20, and it's not like the UK where they have a rum and coke or a half a shandy or a beer or something like that. I mean, they all drink Black Label and mixers hardcore, and they can drink you under the table. It never sort of failed to amaze me, that. Right, Jason, the Thai baht has slipped slightly. They are losing 250 billion baht a month. Looks like quarantine will be gone by October. Well, I read out the rates. I won't read them all out, but today the pound doesn't seem to have slipped because it's still 42 baht and 79 satang, and I think it was 42 baht and 60 satang last week. So I mean that's not great compared to the old days. But I said to you, when I was last there, I was getting 36 baht to the pound, and that hurts. You give them the change booth at the end of Nana Plaza there. You give them £100, you get back 3,600 baht, and it's not cheap anymore, is it? Some of the bars you're paying 200 baht for a beer, right? I don't know what you mean by that one. De Sanchez 1313. Right, Mazuki, is that Nana Pete? Spent my first ever night in Bangkok there. Such an experience. Yeah, Nana Plaza. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. I think it's it's just too commercialized now. You know, that big sign outside, the world's #1 adult playground. It used to be a kind of seedy, shady place. You know, it was a lot more fun back then, but maybe just reminiscing. Yeah, I have tried it, Jatan. Peter, if you like Black Label, which I do, try Shivers Regal 18. Very nice. Yeah, I have tried Shivers Regal. It is nice. Yeah. Sick in Florida, Edward Sweeney. Sainsbury's sometimes do offers on them. Yeah, they're very good. All the big supermarkets. I mean, I like Asda. I find Asda particularly cheap, and but Tesco's tend to do a lot of offers on alcohol. So you just there's no sort of pattern to it. You go in there and they'll do the Black Label for 20 quid, as I said. Now that's very good for a bottle of Black Label. Have you ever tried the? When I worked in India, they have a blue label, and that. I think if you buy it on the internet now, it's over £100 for a regular sized bottle. So I'm not going to buy Blue Label, but it's so smooth. Somebody gave me a shot of it in India, and I can't describe it to you. It's like It's whiskey, but it's like, it's so nice. It's really nice. I mean, if I was rich, I would definitely have that in my drinks cabinet. Right, Steve Francis. Hey, Ed, you're in South Devon. Same. Ed, I kind of figured you were on the South Coast. I think I've guessed what you do for a living. I don't want to say here. If I ever meet you, I'll let you know. There's only so many things you can do where you can take 3 months off in the January, February, March and go away. I know you don't live in Liverpool. A lot of people assume you live in Liverpool, but I know you don't. But I did kind of guess South Coast. I used to live in Bournemouth myself. I'll put that on screen. I'm not going to say that. It was quite comical. Maybe my channel will get taken down now. Let's change that then. Another patio scene, I think. Right. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. How long have we been going now? 2 hours and 5 minutes. Just finish these off while I'm finishing my beer. Yeah, okay, Luke. Yeah, it's Luke Wynn. Cheers, Pete. Catch you next time. Have a good week. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Luke. Bread Cohen, 2 nips of blue makes you feel happy. Then you drink the cheap stuff. I always drink the cheap stuff. Right, guys, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes. Thanks. It's been a really good stream. Over 200 people in the stream this week. And I've enjoyed reading all your comments and what have you. The 2 doors on the side are trimmed. Or okay, we'll keep it clean now, guys. All right, thanks for joining me. I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I'll be on Ed's stream on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And have a great Sunday. And if I've missed any of your comments, I do apologize, but they do go through so fast. But I'm going to end this now. And I'll see you next Saturday for another stream. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. And good night.